Hello and welcome to a new game called The Roottrees Are Dead. I want to play this game. Let's do this. Slot 1, of course. And let's see what happens. I like mystery games. I like puzzle games. I'm not good at them, but we're going to try. December 6th, 1998. I was 10 years old.
The plane that crashed last night just outside of Pittsburgh is now known to have been the private jet of the Roottree Corporation. Local aviation authorities have speculated, based on the pilot's final communication, that the winter storm and heavy winds played a significant role in the crash. On board were multiple family members, including corporate president Carl Roottree and his daughters, the Roottrees sisters, best known for their fashion lines and modeling careers. There were no survivors. Again, for those of you just joining us, the Roottrees are dead.
Ooh, Private Dick. Oh, hey.
I know it's late, but I'm guessing you've seen the news. In addition to dealing with the grief, the Roottree Company's lawyers are scrambling. Everything's about to change. Anyone proven to be a blood relative is about to get much richer. I'm here to ensure everyone is accounted for. I've heard you're an expert at sorting out complicated family trees. A genealogy genie, as it were.
That's us, a genealogy genie.
I'm going to give you a quick test. Pass, and I can promise you the job of a lifetime.
I'm not good with tests. I'm bad. I need help. Complete the family tree of the Roottree sisters. Birth order, oldest to youngest. Got it. Examine my evidence, search the internet, and fill in the names, fill in occupations, fill in photos. Okay. Salute. Okay. What's here? So this, Roottree sisters. Person hired you to give this photo with a note attached. During shoot for the Roottree sisters got milk ad. I've tracked down a test photo from before they painted the fake mustaches on, which I thought would be more appropriate considering the circumstances. Ads copy reads: you might recognize our face from the magazine you're reading, or you might recognize our name from the candy bar you're eating. Being a Roottree is a full-time job, but so is growing up. That's why the calcium found in milk is so important. Plus, you can't make chocolate without it. Okay, so... Oh, oops. Oh, do you take pictures? Oh, you have to take pictures of their faces. Okay, so... Let's see. Oh, you can zoom in. Good. She looks like she's married. That's probably important somewhere. And... that's pretty much all I can tell right now. They all look like rich white people. So, perfect. What else? Names. This was provided by the mysterious person who showed up at your door. So, women. Okay. That's a lot of names. And men. Cool. We know Carl Roottree, right? What is that? Oh, highlight and copy. Oh, interesting. Okay. So we know Carl Roottree is the dad. What can we call this? Can I highlight it though? Or no? No, I can do this though. Current. Or maybe dead Roottree. Dead Rootrees. Chest trees. There we go. I can spell. All right, so Carl Roottree. Dad. Carl equals dad. Got it. Okay. And then what else do we have? That's it. What is this? Okay. Oh, the Roottree sisters. Got it. Computer. Welcome. Ooh. New history feature. Cashew pieces are delicious. Don't eat them. Inedible. Internet. This could be a very fun game. I'm hoping I don't look like an idiot when I do this though. So if I do, just don't say anything, okay? Spider search. Pro tip, you can create notes quickly by highlighting text with your mouse. Oh, interesting. Okay. So let's try Carl Roottree. Carl Roottree died in the recent plane crash along with his wife, Brenda Roottree. So Brenda Roottree. Brenda equals mom. Cool. Their daughter is the Roottree sisters. He was president of the Roottree Candy Company as well as the clothing company Root. Oh, interesting. Okay. Which he co-founded with his wife. According to the news site, Roottree Candy Company plans to put out a press release sometime with the hour to address the absence of Carl, the crash, and the questions they have been receiving. Once you finish placing the Roottree sisters on the family tree, it would be wise to repeat this search. Okay. Good to know. Roottree sisters. A lot of obituaries that focus on the Roottree sisters' modeling career. You also come across an unofficial Roottree fan site. That's so weird. Seemingly curated by a teenager. It's neon pink with purple text and hard to read it until you highlight the words. The young webmaster writes, Raina is the most famous because she's the oldest. Okay. And is married to TMS. So Raina is the oldest. Married TMS. But Riley is the smart run. Rose is a middle child like me. Rose is a middle child. Okay. You might think they're rich just because they're models. But their dad is also president of the candy company, and their mom, Brenda, is a fashion designer. They do the modeling for her brand, Root. Maybe I should highlight Root, at least so I remember. I eat Roottree candy all the time. My favorite are maple crisps. And try to dress in plaid Root clothes like Riley does in most of the posters. So she dresses in plaid. Riley dresses in plaid. I want to get my ears pierced like Rose. Okay. So that kind of helps us out actually a lot. Lisa out there continues to talk about her own life and what she likes about Root fashion line, but none of it is relevant. So then let's see. What was it? Riley is the first one, right? Riley's the oldest. But modern technology, it's recommended to search for only one person. Maybe if I do Roottree. Right. Okay, maybe I can. There we go. Okay, so this is just the same. What about Rose Roottree? Rose Roottree? Rose Roottree is not as popular as her older sister Raina, but still very well known. Most of the time they are lumped together as the Roottree sisters. Unfortunately, the results for Rose by herself don't lead to anything different than when searching for the sisters together. Okay, so wait, let's go back to the list of names. So we know for sure Rose is the middle child. So is there a Rose Roottree? No, but there's a Raina and a Riley. And Raina is the oldest. So we can do this, right? Raina Roottree is the oldest. Rose is the middle, which would make Riley the youngest. And they said that they're models, right? So, okay. Are they? I guess they're all models, which would automatically make Rose, but there's no Rose, right? It said, okay, yeah. So Rose must be like a nickname or maybe like a middle name or something. But they said that she was married, right? This one had a wedding ring, and she's the only one that's married. TMS. Is there a TMS in here? No. What about we'll have to look at TMS. And I guess we can put model here. And then what did where'd that book go? Something about ears pierced in plaid. Ears pierced in plaid. So Riley has plaid, which would be her, right? Then that, right? Okay, so I just need, and then I need TMS. So I need to figure out what Rose's real name is and TMS. TMS is a common abbreviation for early 90s heartthrob Tommy Mark Sheridan. His first credited role is Thomas Sheridan. Okay. Is there a Thomas? There is Thomas Sheridan. Got it. So you would be here. Sheridan Thomas. Okay. Now to figure out who the Roottree. Let's go back up to the names here. So Candy, Carly, Candy? Mixed in with recent news of the plane crash, there are a lot of results for Roottree's extremely popular products. Their official website is unstable due to traffic it's been receiving. However, you find a direct link to the history section that manages to work momentarily. The Roottree Candy Company was founded by Elias Roottree after he married his wife Gwyneth, whose family owned a small... Okay. Oops. Wait, go back here. Go... No, here. Okay, let's... So... Beginnings. I don't know how to spell. Okay. So Elias and his wife Gwyneth. Okay. But this is not what I wanted. What about Carly? Nothing on Carly Roottree. Okay. Gwendolyn? Wait, what if Carly... Does it matter that... Oh, maybe it does. Okay. You discover a trivia page that lists common trick questions. The answer to what are the first names of the famous Roottree girls? List the answer. Raina, Carly... Oh, Carly Rose Roottree. Okay. Apparently her parents had planned to name a son Carl Roottree Jr., but after finding out they were having a second daughter, sometime in the early 90s, a now preteen Carly strongly expressed her dislike that her sister had RH names and she was the odd one out. That's okay. Okay, so we can go back here. We now know that her name is Carly. Carly Roottree. Hey, we did it. Everyone, round of applause. Round of applause, please. Unlock the following optional. Thomas Sheridan. Booyah. Are we done? That's it? Sweet. Nice, we won.
Sorry to test you, but I had to be sure. It's the internet. Some folks refuse to get with the times. Safe to say, you're hired.
Had to be sure to...
The reward for untangling the family tree is substantial. Life-changing, even. But here's the catch. These trees go way, way back. The family tree's a bit daunting. Most people freak out the first time they see the whole thing. But I'm sure you'll be fine.
I don't know about that.
It was particular about who he considered family. For your purposes, you only need his direct blood relatives.
Oh, good.
Anyone related only by marriage is optional, but filling them in can lead to useful discoveries.
Got it.
Lastly, you now have access list of notable Roottrees. Notable people are easy to find via your search engine and marked with stars on the family tree. I'm off for now. Carl Roottree had a lot in his office. I'll look for anything useful. I'll return once you identify 6 more blood relatives.
Oh, good. 6 more. Okay. Oh, that's a lot.
Sorry, one last thing. This might sound odd, but if anyone else claiming to represent the Rootrees reaches out, I'd appreciate you not mentioning I was here. Thank you, and good luck.
Good to know, mysterious lady that opens my door without me. Sleuth. Okay, so this has to be. Wait, what did they say their names were? Beginnings, right? That's definitely not how you spell beginnings. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna make it easy. Starting point. Okay. Roottree Candy Company was founded by Elias Roottree shortly after he was married. He married his wife, Gwyneth. Okay. So, Gwyneth. Is there a, let's see. Just started Gwyneth Anderson? Is that... Gwyneth Anderson? You find some information on the website, the first Anderson Maple Farm. There are a few pictures, including a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth. Okay, so this is the Gwyneth we're looking for. Before marrying Elias, Gwyneth Roottree was Gwyneth Anderson. She had no sisters or brothers. She had no brothers, so was the oldest sister she was to inherit. So long as she married. Got it. Before Elias took over, the farm produced only syrup. It was supposedly Elias' idea to create candy instead. Their success was not immediate until they decided to combine the maple with other flavors. This led to 5 pieces, which are still found in stores to this day. Though the Roottree Candy Company expanded well beyond their original farm, it has been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to their website, there are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show off many of the turn-of-the-century appliances that Gwyneth would have used as a housewife. Okay, so I think that gives us quite a bit of information, right? And did it say we got some more evidence here? News alert. This included a list of notable Roottrees. Okay. Oh, this is our, what is this? Intuition. You've been in this line of work a long time. So long, in fact, that you developed a sixth sense for how useful your evidence can be. The numbers in the magnifying glass refer to how many clues are connected to a specific piece of... Oh, geez. The higher the number, the more there is to find. At the start of your search, the notable list sets off alarm bells, a list of famous people. As you progress, these numbers will change. Trust your intuition. Okay. Oops, sorry. Let's see. So this has radical new flavors because it's no longer the 1920s. What even is an elderberry anyway? Maybe that's why kids still love them. Bad blue raspberry, cool chocolate, so strawberry, power plum, awesome apple. These sound like Gushers flavors, actually. There's an advertisement for 5 pieces aimed at kids from the magazine Teen Blast. It mentions that the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. The ad also mentions the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. Okay. Who are you? This is a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth Roottree. It was taken in 1909 after they founded the Roottree Company, but before it was a success. So it was founded in 1909, before it became a success. From what you found searching the internet, it seems quite difficult to find any site about Elias or Gwyneth that isn't accompanied by this picture. Elias and Gwyneth are on the notable Roottrees list in your evidence. They'll be marked on the chart with a star. Okay, so they were the ones who founded it. So these are their pictures. Let's go back to the board. I think we can fill these in. So we know that's Elias. We know that's Gwyneth Anderson, right? and Elias Roottree. She said that she was like a stay-at-home, a homemaker, a housewife, because it's the early 1900s and women couldn't obviously do anything besides be housewives. And he, CEO. What else is there? Oh, president. Maybe the first president. What is this? Once you verify this person, you'll be able to add bonus photos. Okay, so I think that's right. I think we're good there. We know, what's her name? Brenda, right? Brenda? Is it Brenda White? And we know that this is Carl Roottree. Now the question is, how many? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Is he the 4th president? Ooh. Oh, there's up to a 5th president. Well, he's the most current president, so he has to be the 5th president, right? Right? Okay, wait. Actually, maybe Carl, because it said to go back to. Okay, their daughter's Kenny Company of Clothing, which co-founded by his wife. Oh, Brenda Roottree, but wait, go back here. Why Brenda White? Is there a Brenda Roottree? There's not. So, okay, we're going to look, before we do anything. So with the heavy heart, we mourn the loss of Carl, Brenda, and the Roottree sisters and the other employees that perished in the terrible tragedy. It's always other employees. Can't list those names. It's only the people that are important. The entire Roottree family is in shock and requesting privacy at the time. As the head of our company, Carl was an incredible man and unmatched leader. Filling his absence will be difficult and may take considerable time. In the interim, we hope that you'll join us looking back fondly on Carl and his family's triumphs and accomplishments. They go on to list some of those accomplishments. One of them seems relevant. Like his great-grandfather before him, Carl earned the highly prestigious... Okay. Watchman of the Year title. I wonder what that means. Watchman of the Year. Can we copy that and paste it? We can. Business Watch magazine is a magazine focused on company CEOs in the economy that have been around for over 100 years in one form or another, and will often write about major changes in management at famous companies. Every year, they offer an award as a prominent businessman who's been featured in the field. They call this the Watchman of the Year. You find through a few searches that 2 Roottrees have been featured, Elias Roottree and Carl Roottree. Business Watch does not host any online archives. Okay, so let's just verify. So Carl Roottree, so that's his dad. That's his granddad, and that would be his great granddad. Okay, all right. So I think that's right. But the question is then, if he's the first, someone up here is the second, someone up here is the third. Then wouldn't that make him as the 4th? Oof. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. Okay. Then Brenda Roottree, right? Oops. You stumble across an auction for a black and blue dress that's a Brenda White original. The auction describes it as a vintage dress from before Brenda became Brenda Roottree and started designing clothes for Root. The white and gold dress itself, Brenda White original. Okay, so that is... Okay, so before Brenda Roottree became Roottree, she was Brenda White. Okay, so that's good. We're good there. Let's go. So we can close that. Maybe we can start filling out some of these, like the children, maybe. So we got that. Okay, let's go here. So we need to get a picture. So we got Elias and Gwyneth Roottree. Who is Gwyn Roottree? You find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. The site is not very well organized and the search is broken, but you can get individual pages from your search engine. Gwen Roottree is somewhat well-known actress. Okay, so sorry, I gotta put on my blue light glasses here real quick. My eyeballs are hurting my face already. That's what I get. Okay, so Gwen. You find some information. Gwen Roottree is somewhat well-known actress in the 50s. And she was published. Okay, so let's do this. So we'll highlight you. Highly publicized divorce we'll highlight because that seems important, right? Can you see? So marriage, split up. Okay, wait, did one of these? So marriage. So split up here. So then this 1950s. Does that mean? Oh, and she's a star, right? So no other star. So this, okay, I'm gonna make an assumption here. This has to be Gwen. Roottree. Gwen. Actress. Okay, actor. Fine. I'm just gonna make an assumption on that part. Her biggest role was the minor hit movie Guys Like Us. She left Hollywood after the flop of Christmas Mission. There's a widely circulated picture of Gwen from behind the scenes on one of her movies, which you've added to evidence. Gwen was the granddaughter of Elias Roottree. Here we go. She shouldn't have been named Roottree. Wait, she shouldn't have been named Roottree, but her father took her mother's famous name. Oh, interesting. Wait. So this has to be a mom, right? Because if this is her, that's mom, then that's granddad. Elias is granddaddy. Yep. Okay. So this I feel pretty confident in now, and we just have to remember that mom is the blood relative, and dad took the name. Okay. So now, let's see. So. Widely circulated photo of Gwen Roottree. I've seen it on multiple websites about old films. Gwen Roottree is on the notable Roottrees list. She'll be marked with a star. Okay, so let's take a picture of her. And then we can go here. I'm going to confidently say that this is Gwen. Hey! Yes! 3 entries correct and have been locked. You've also locked the following optional entry. Brenda White. Okay. So that's Brenda. I need so who is you don't have any portrait available to add to the phone. To get started, click on face. Okay. I need to know the mom, her mom. Okay, thank you. But first, let's go back here. Let's go here. So we know Gwen. Red Roottree. Who is Red Roottree? You find information about strange historical facts. Aloysius Herring Roottree. Oh, like red herring. Got it. Red herring. Was appointed judge and politician. He then tried to run for state senate. He claimed to be related to the Roottree Candy Company in a newspaper ad, but it came out that the last name was merely a coincidence, and he was defeated in the landslide. Got it. So he lied. Cool. Jim Roottree. James Roottree is a singer who works in the duo Jim and Diamond. Okay, wait. So add page. Jim and Diamond, maybe? Jim Diamond. That's not how well, we were close. We were there. James Roottree is a singer, Jim and Diamond, and his wife Diamond LaRue. Okay. The duo, according to many sources you find, is considered a one-hit wonder, rolling on down in the city. Highlight that. Although Jim writes the majority of the songs, plays the guitar, and often sings, Diamond is considered by fans to be the band's lead singer. The band never had another hit, but has its fans who refer to themselves as Diamond's Dazzlers. Yeah, of course they do. The rest of their music is more folksy and acoustic than the one song they are known for. Jim and Diamond have continued to release music through the 80s and early 90s. Other albums you find mentioned are Cherry Tree and Sound of Laughter. Jim has become a bit of a recluse and hasn't made a public appearance since 1996. Okay. What about Diamond LaRue? Diamond LaRue. Okay, so that's what you get for that. What about Rolling On Down the City? Can I just... Yeah. Okay, same thing. What about Diamond's Dazzlers? Anything on them? Well, I'm here. Diamond's Dazzlers is the name of the official fan club for Jim and Diamond. You find a forum post called Cool Things You Got in the Mail on a random forum about video games. One reply mentions that Jim and Diamond still send out Christmas cards every year. Okay. It's accompanied by some pictures as well as some history about the fan club. Apparently, even though it's no longer available to join, Jim and Diamond still honor it themselves personally. There's a fierce debate in the subsequent post about whether that's cool or pathetic. Amongst the pictures of Christmas cards over the years, only one is relevant. The card from 1996, which includes pictures of Jim and Diamond's young son, Wolf, as well as a note about his daughter's band, the Floozies. Interesting. Okay. What about Wolf? So, Wolf, maybe? Okay. Wolf Roottree? Wolf Jim? No. Okay. What about the Floozies? The Floozies are an all-female punk band operating out of New York City. They're mentioned in passing in an online review from earlier this year. Apparently they were the opening act for the band the reviewer actually came to see. The reviewer writes that she normally doesn't review opening acts, but this one was unusual and not because of the music loud, fast, and repetitive, not in a good way. The trio is extremely cagey about their identities. The reviewer asked the venue who they were, and she was told they were rumored to be the children of other famous musicians. Okay. The reviewer also mentioned that for an underground and unknown band with absolutely no following, their equipment was all extremely expensive, and not only were they selling CDs, but they only cost $1. They probably were losing a fortune. The reviewer said although she bought a copy, she'd be unlikely to ever listen to it again except maybe Beef Baby, the 7th track. There's no picture of the Floozies performing live, but the cover of the CD they were selling, Conquistador, has been added to your evidence. Let me highlight this and this and then okay, so that just leads us to there. Okay, so let's look at UA. So this is, you found a picture of a Christmas card from Jim and Diamond to their fan club in 1996, 2 years ago. The description said it included a picture of his son Wolf listening to his parents' latest music. Okay, so we'll take that picture, 1996, and then Conquistador, a CD from a band called the Floozies that is only available at their live shows. So guitars and vocals, Candy, bass, Nikki. Wait, so Nikki is Nikki is the daughter then? Yeah, because if you can take a picture, then it's got to be. Okay, wait. So let me go back here. So Wolf, is that a real name? Wolf son? Nikki daughter. I swear. Okay. So then let's go back here. Then you are Rolling on Down the City was barely a top 20 hit for a few weeks in 79. According to the liner notes, it satirizes how part of society was content to remain indifferent to economic inflation, civil unrest in the Middle East. Wow, that's interesting. Because it was such a because it was such a product of its time, it doesn't get much play anymore, even on stations that play oldies. The image is from an auction for sealed copy, has a sticker on it that says, "Only the great-grandson of Elias Roottree could make this disco sweet. It is credited to Peter Janowitz from MMM." Okay, so wait, great-grandson. Okay, hold on. And he's a notable. So, son, grandson, great-grandson. Right? Is there, but he's also notable, so he has a star. So he has to be on Carl's line. Is there any? So then that would mean that he has to be here, right? Is it James? It's James Roottree, right? James Roottree, musician. And then Diamond LaRue. And that's got to be you. Right? And this has got to be you, and they're married. Now, the question is, who's the oldest? I'm guessing, if I had to guess, I would say she looks older than him. Then is there a Nikki? No. Unless it's Nicole. Is there a Nicole? Nicole, I bet maybe Nicole Smith. Nothing relevant. Nicole, what was the other one? Nicole Madsen. Nicole Madsen. Okay. Well, so that's interesting. What about, I'm guessing, oh, so there is a Wolf. So that is his real name. Okay, I'm going to say that that's Wolf. I'm going to say she is also a musician. Wolf Roottree. Did we try Wolf Roottree already? Wolf Roottree. Nothing. Okay, so there's nothing there. Let's go back here. Lauren Roottree. Spider search. Author Lauren Roottree. Okay, so she's an author. Add page. I'm going to do that every freaking time. Lauren. Okay, so author. A distant relative of the Roottree sisters. A life between wars. According to a website about famous authors in the early 60s, Lauren released a few romance novels under her married name, Lauren Rafferty. When her publisher learned she had been keeping diaries about her famous family, they insisted they release them under her original name, Lauren Roottree, to take advantage of her family's notoriety. The selection of diaries, released in 1965 as A Life Between Wars, spans the untimely death of her husband in World War II to coping with post-war world as a young widow and mother. Okay. As well as her perspectives on change time and socialites all the way through the entry into Vietnam. While the content is not considered particularly relevant to modern audiences, found new life as an exercise in high school English classes to show an evolution in writing style and for a look into life in previous generations. After the success of her diaries, her publisher re-released her romance novel under the name Lauren Roottree. This included Romancing Court, which gained popularity. She followed the release up by writing 2 new sequels, creating what fans refer to as the Court Jester series. You find no recent details other than she's retired. Okay, so let's go back to the board here. So, distant relative of the sisters. She, life between untimely death of her husband in World War II, young widow and mother. So, I don't think it's this. I think it's got to be in this line. Somewhere, right? Because this is too young. This I feel like is too old. Plus there's no stars. So it could be this one. Or it could be this one. Interesting. Okay, so we got 2 options. We'll hold off on that for right now. Let's go. What about Miracle Jr.? Miracle Jr. doesn't go by his full name and promotional materials. Okay. Miracle. Oh, jeez. Miracle Jr. Miracle Jr. is a televangelist, part of the Miracle Network. He used to have a show that aired on local access across many stations in the northeastern United States. According to website Clergy Watch, he was exposed and subsequently charged with conspiracy to defraud the public in 1979. When he claimed to heal someone in a wheelchair, a news expose revealed it was his wife, Edith, sister in disguise. The author also mentions that Edith had a bit of a checkered past herself, but doesn't clarify. He has since lost his television show and instead goes on tour across the southern United States, where he was not well known before the scandal. Okay, so what about this Miracle Network? Wait. You find a website for Miracle Network. Actually, you know what? Let's go back to Miracle Jr. Run by the Miracle Roottree estate. It's quite bare bones, but has the following blurb: witness the testimonies of Miracle's Roottree. Of the Miracle's Roottree. Miracle Roottree arrived so late in his mother's life that doctors swore he wouldn't survive his first year. His mother and father, Elias and Gwyneth, named him Miracle. Okay. Because they thought that him impossible. He was younger than his brothers and okay, so he's the youngest. With a birth that late, the final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems, but still with the power of God on his side, he persevered. He triumphed over those complications and even regained his sight to spread the healing word of the Almighty. 23 years later, Miracle Roottree Jr. arrived and became the famous family's second vessel for the highest power. At 18, he unburdened himself from the Roottree name and took his father's testimony to a whole new level via the power of television. Miracle Jr. spread the gospel across the entirety of New England. He has since left the life of glamour and glitz behind to reach those places in need. The power of the Lord coming to a town near you. Below the blurb is a flyer about the tour, which is in your evidence. Okay, so before we do that, so we know right now, Miracle, just regular Miracle. Oh, there's a third. Okay, so we know Miracle, and we like a pastor or preacher, maybe preacher. Okay, we don't know the spouse's name, and we don't have a picture yet. But you are Miracle Jr. Miracle Jr. You have to be Miracle Jr. because you're the star. And you're also a preacher. And then Miracle the Third would be here, right? And also a preacher. Okay, and we don't know any of their spouses' names. but you go here. Okay. A flyer for the 3 Generations Miracles Tour. The flyer is a few years old. It comes from 1996. The names are listed. Miracle Jr., who is said to be the world famous and gets top billing. Miracle Jr. is on the notable Roottrees list in your evidence. He'll be marked on the chart with a star. Miracle Rootree, who the flyer says will make a special appearance. Miracle III and his wife Nicole, who are said to be youth pastors. So, you and you, featuring testimony and a special appearance from Miracle Roottree in his 68th year on God's earth. Okay, so then what about just Miracle Roottree? Maybe if I spelt it right. Miracle Roottree. You find a website. Okay, so that's just the same. Okay. So we can say your Miracle Junior and you are Miracle the Third, right? Hey, okay. 3 entries are correct and you have been locked. Perfect. Diamond LaRue locked the following optionals. Cool. Oh, who's there?
You're on a roll. I'll try to keep that momentum going. Carl's office was a mess, thanks to some burst pipes. But I unearthed a photo from a 1970s Roottree reunion. I also found some important-looking papers. You've traced 9 blood relatives so far. I'll have more to share after you find 9 more.
9 more? Holy moly. Okay. Hey, so let's go here. Let's take a look. So vote for Stephanie Jones for city council. Better for Butler County. Sorry, I have to rearrange. This was buried under a ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox. It had a handwritten note attached that seemed personal. It's a flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones, on the back of an excerpt from a newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her words, it was still full of love. And now 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, her message for voters is simply, love is our future. The handwritten note says, Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflict spread to the next generation. CM. So who is CM? Stephanie is obviously someone part of the family, like a cousin to the sisters. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water damage picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell out too. Written on the back of the photo is, couldn't make the reunion. Wishing you well from Paris. Gwen and the boys. Okay. Gwen and the boys film school. Wait, let's go back here. So Gwen and the boys. So this must be the boys? Okay. Wait. Oh, you can take pictures of these 3. Okay. And then hold on, we can take pictures of them. Okay. Who are you? This photo was tucked inside an envelope with a letter beneath a candle in the corner of his office. The letter says, to Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you were unable to attend the funeral. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible. And Ernie, more than anyone else on earth, knew how busy your job can be. I've enclosed a Shiva candle, identical to ours, if you'd like to pay your respects, though it's not expected for those outside of the faith to do so. Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but for his family's legacy. He had immense amount of pride for the work you 3 did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for him after taking over. As for myself, it's impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectation. It went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust, and that it was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. We could never have done that without the two of you fighting for us. Much love, Debbie. So, Debbie, Ernie. Okay. Oh boy. I don't know. Ernie, maybe? So, Debbie, Ernie, Nicole. Who are they? Okay. But we can take pictures of them, so obviously they're important. Oh, wow, that's a lot of people. This photo has a note attached to you from your employer. Every 20 or so years, the Rootrees would hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is the one from the 70s, and Carl's a teenager in the middle. Sorry about the water damage. A pipe burst in Carl's office. On the back of the photo in childish print writing, it says November. There also include a large number of cursive signatures that include Bonnie, next President Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Ernie Jr., Carolyn, Gwyneth, Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim Roottree, Clark, Carl, and Eli. Okay, so I'm guessing, yeah, of course you can. You can take pictures of all of these people. Oh boy, that's a lot of pictures. Okay. The Roottree sisters, after a quick test, the figure gave. After some time, they returned with a new resource photo of Carl's generation taken in the mid to late 70s, as well as some papers and mail from the office. They then said that they had a bit more to share after 9 more. Okay. Okay. So, Lauren Roottree. Wait. Yeah, Lauren Roottree is the author. So if that's the case, then this has to be Lauren, right? I don't know. I don't know if this is true or not. Author. And then. But we don't have a picture of Lauren, right? Ernie, Miracle, yeah. That's Gwyneth. Or Gwen. With the boys. Okay. And we don't know any of the other like big wait. Let's go back here and let's just start typing in names. Guy Hudson. Okay. No. What did I press? Okay. Guy Hudson. Fancy Flavors was an addition to the 5-piece product line for less than a year. In 79. It was Guy Hudson's first and historically most cited move as president of Roottree. In an attempt to cater more towards what he thought the average person wanted, Guy looked at his own wealth, which was often a source of envy for others, and decided to tap into the idea that if they added fancy flavors to 5 pieces, anyone could live like the wealthy. Yeah, that's how that works in real life, Mr. Hudson. Exactly how it works. This philosophy led to a flavor in 5-piece that was meant to mimic caviar. Ew, that's also disgusting, just in general. 5 pieces sold less that year than it had any other year, except in some foreign markets. It was very quickly announced that caviar was meant to be a limited flavor and would go back to normal as soon as possible. Of course it was. So he was the president in 79. And it's 1998 now. So Carl, so Hudson has to be somewhere up here. But does that mean he was married to a Roottree? Ernie Jr. Okay, so Ernie Jr. was a former president of Roottree. He seemed to directly precede Carl Roottree. And one website even says that he was Carl's mentor. He was apparently very successful as president, but not so much as a public figure. He was rarely seen in public and stepped down due to an illness in 96. He has since passed away. Okay, so Ernie was the president of Roottree directly before, but that doesn't make him. So this is Carl. Wait, can we add that picture? Because we know that that's Carl. Which one's in the middle? No, wait. Carl is in that thing. Okay. That's Carl. Okay. Carolyn. Can we just say Carolyn? Like, what about Carolyn Roottree? Okay, nothing on Roottree, nothing Carolyn Roottree wise. Gwendolyn, Miracle, Jim Roottree, Clark, Carl, and Eli. Clark? Eli Roottree? Okay. Okay. On the back of the photo in childish print writing, Carl's a teenager in the middle. Sorry about the water damage. Every 20 the Rootrees. So maybe this is, wait, this is Debbie. Debbie Roottree? Debbie Roottree. Okay. Debbie. What is history? Oh, okay. Trying to think. So this is obviously Debbie, and this is Nicole. Which would be up here somewhere, right? Could be this one, actually, because they only have one kid. Also could be this one. Can't be this one. Interesting. Could be this one. Oh, there's a lot. Actually, it could be either one of these. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So let me see what's next. So we actually didn't lock these in. Oh, because we don't know her name. We know her name is Nikki, right?